Hello and welcome, I'm your Code Monkey, and lately YouTube and Twitter feeds are full of ChatGPT. If you haven't heard about it, this is the latest tool developed by OpenAI, so these are the same people that built dall-e a while ago as well as GPT-3. This latest one, ChatGPT, is basically an AI where you can chat with it and it's extremely good in generating a great response. You can just chat with it, you can ask a bunch of questions, and the thing that has a lot of people both hyped and scared is that you can even ask it to write code and it does. The code that it generates is valid most of the time, and not only is it valid, but it comes with some nice comments and also some mini documentation. It even works on various languages. It can write Python, C#, JavaScript, and a bunch more. So all in all, it's really impressive. Although of course, with such an impressive tool, there's a bunch of people questioning, so does this mean that programmers are all about to lose their jobs? And since this AI works for generating valid Unity C# code, should you use this code directly in your games? The results are truly amazing. There's an excellent channel called Nick Chapsis. It's a great channel if you want to follow C# outside of game development. He made a video pretty much gushing about the power of ChatGPT, and I definitely do share his amazement. It's really impressive what this AI can do. Jonas also tried it out and posted on Twitter how he was so impressed with it. You can see how it works for generating valid Unity scripts. However, when it comes to the question, is this AI going to take all of our jobs? For that I would confidently say the answer is no. Programming isn't really about writing code, it's all about problem solving. The AI only produces a good output if you know the right questions to ask. It's just like beginners to game development who think, I want to make a huge MMORPG, where do I start? Even if the AI were capable of building a full MMORPG, you would still need to ask it the right questions. And knowing exactly what questions to ask is exactly what a good programmer is all about. A great example is on that same video that I mentioned. In there, Nick is very good at asking the exact right questions, and he's also very good at reading the code that it produces and identifying the potential flaws, which he can then help the AI solve by asking some follow-up questions. So because he is very knowledgeable, he is capable of using the AI to get great results. A complete beginner with no concept of programming would not be able to get good results because they would not know exactly what to ask and how to structure the question. So based on the fact that programming is not really about writing code, but rather about problem solving, based on that I would say no, the AI is not going to take all of our jobs. Now to answer the second question, since this AI is so good and capable of generating valid Unity C# code, should you use it directly in your games? And to that the answer is also no, at least not directly. Like I said, it does work, it's really impressive. And one of the great things is how it works based on knowledge that you told it previously. So for my very first prompt, I can just ask what is Unity? And if there you go, it does understand exactly what I was asking about. So now I can ask follow-up questions and I don't even have to input that it's C# or Unity, it knows that by default. So I can ask it, for example, to make a simple movement script. So make a simple movement script. And yep, there you go, the AI is indeed writing a bunch of valid code. And look at that, this is a great output. So it's got a movement script, and on update it gets the input and it modifies the transform position. It's got some nice comments telling you exactly what the code is doing, and down here a bunch of mini documentation. Although you can also see how it got a bit confused at a point. Down here it says correctly that this script runs on the update, and it works by moving the transform position directly. So if you want to move the object with physics, you've got to use a different approach. But up here it also says that the object needs to have a rigid body component. So it's kind of contradicting itself, but the code is valid, so let's copy this code. And over here, let's just make a C# script. Now just paste the whole thing, there it is. Let's make a new game object. Let's put it on 0, 0, attach the script. Just add a nice visual. And okay, let's test. And yep, look at that, it does work, so I can move with the keys and I can indeed move my player. So here we do have a valid movement script. So this truly is very impressive. Let's see an even more advanced example. So let's tell it to make a system to interact with NPCs. Let's see what it does. Alright, it's writing a bunch of code. It's getting an interaction distance, it's testing for a button input, then it's doing an overlap sphere to find the colliders. Then it tests a tag, gets an NPC component, and does some kind of interact method. Then for documentation, and yep, attach this script to an object in your scene with the NPC tag. It uses a sphere overlap and calls the interact method on the NPC script component. So yeah, this would be a valid approach. So as you can see, this is all insanely impressive. So if it is so impressive, now why do I say that you shouldn't use this code directly? Well, that's because the AI actually has one pretty big flaw. It's all based on how it actually works. So this is all based on machine learning, meaning they fed it a ton of data to generate the model. So the AI learned from a ton of public sources. And it turns out that most of the published tutorials are beginner tutorials. Those are the ones that get the most clicks, so that's the kind of content that exists the most. And most beginner tutorials don't necessarily teach good practices. My personal pet peeve that you probably already know about is how every beginner tutorial teaches you how to make every single field public. I made an entire video on that topic and why you should not make everything public. Now I understand why they do it on beginner tutorials. It's so that beginners don't get frustrated with too much complexity by having to learn about access modifiers or what is a serialized field. Another example, which is a horrible practice, are tags. That's another thing that you probably should not use in a proper game, but lots of beginner tutorials teach it because it is easy to teach. And you can see how the code that the AI generates has all of those bad practices. You can see how it made the interaction distance public. You can see how the void update doesn't have the private access modifier. You can see how down here it's using tags and it's using a string to identify the NPC. You can see that it used no layer mask and so on. You can go watch my video tutorial on making an NPC interaction system and compare my code with this one generated by the AI. You'll see how the AI code does work, but it's also very quick and dirty and not really a proper good implementation of a proper interact system. Now what I do find funny is that over here, if you try to ask it, should you make everything public? And look at that, it does give you the correct response, which is no, you should not make everything public. Making variables public allows other scripts to access and modify them, which can lead to unexpected behavior and difficult to debug issues. Yep, that is indeed correct. Instead, you should only make variables and methods public if they need to be accessed or modified by other script. In most cases, you should be using the private access modifier instead. So it is funny that the AI does generate code, but then also kind of answers in an opposite manner. One thing that I've seen other people say is how the AI is very confident in its answers. So that can mean that it is confidently correct or also confidently incorrect. Let's see what it does if I ask it, should you use tags? And look at that, like I said, it does give you a very confident answer, but one that I would say is definitely incorrect. It says, yes, you should use tags. Tags can be used to quickly identify and group objects based on their purpose or other characteristics. Technically that is true, they can be used for that, but they are a horrible tool to be used for that. It even says using tags can make your code more efficient. Tag searching actually goes through every single game object, so it is the exact opposite of efficient. So if you ask it questions, it will be very confident in the answer, but that answer might or might not be correct. Now with all that said, while I would not recommend that you just blindly copy-paste code directly into your game, this is still an excellent tool for asking questions and possibly getting you on the right track. For example, instead of asking a question on Stack Overflow or Unity Answers, you can ask this AI and it might point you in the right direction. Especially when it comes to topics that are really beginner level. For those, it can be really useful. For example, how to test if a character is grounded. And look at that, it gives you the answer. It tells you to use a physics raycast pointing downward from the character's feet. If it hits the ground, that means the character is standing on the ground and therefore is grounded. And here's an example script, so yep, you can see this is indeed a valid thing. Now personally, instead of a raycast, I would use either a boxcast or a capsule cast. Then instead of making these fields public, I would probably make them serialized field private. So I wouldn't necessarily call this production ready code, but it is definitely useful. If you were a beginner and you asked this question, this would definitely point you in the right direction. And also the way that it outputs some nice comments and down here some mini documentation, this makes it really helpful for learning. So all in all, this is an excellent tool, definitely go ahead and give it a try, but don't just blindly copy paste some code. And also don't really worry about it taking over your job. As long as you focus on leveling up your own software engineering and problem solving skills, as long as you do that, you will not be replaced by AI. If you think different, then go ahead, post it in the comments. I'd love to hear what you all think about this genuinely very impressive technology. Alright, hope that's useful. Check out these videos to learn some more. Thanks to these awesome Patreon supporters for making these videos possible. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.